Yadrigu Namaskara. Welcome to this week's episode of Garv gives Gyaan. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between being alone and being lonely. Now, while these two terms have a lot of similarity, there are some very significant differences, and I think knowing the difference between these two terms is pretty important. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the thing about these two topics is that they have one thing in common, and that's the simple fact that in both situations, it's only you. Being lonely and being alone means that you are by yourself. But despite this one thing in common, there are things that change the entire situation. Let's tackle them one by one. When you're alone, you, one, have no one else, but especially for me, I feel like when I'm alone, I have time for myself. I feel like in that situation, I can focus on me. This is why I feel like I work out, I study, and I do the things that work on myself alone. Because I feel like when I'm alone, I can do that better. That's another thing I wanted to say. When I'm alone, I have increased focus. Now, yes, this could be changing whether you're an introvert and extrovert, but I think that people work best when they're on their own because you have the highest level of focus. There's no distractions. You can work on whatever work you have in front of you on your own. Along with that, being alone and learning to be alone is a very good skill to have because in any challenge that you take on, you will find out that at some point in that journey, you will be alone. There's going to be no one there to support you and to tell you what you have to do. It's up to you to make those decisions, and it's a great skill to have. Now, on the other hand, we have loneliness. Now, when you're lonely, much like being alone, there's no one else. But when you're lonely, you feel like you have no one else. Slight difference there. When you're lonely, it really takes a big toll on your mental health because you feel like there's no one you can talk to and there's no one who understands you. And you feel like all the problems in the world are on you. And this is pretty horrible. That's why being lonely is something that's really, really bad for you. Not just because it's bad for your mental health, but it's because you can't think clearly. When you're in this state, you don't make the smartest decisions, and it's a pretty horrible place to be. Now, being lonely could be because you struggle to make friends, you can't find yourself a partner, or because you just haven't been able to open yourself up to someone that you trust. And the result of all three of these is you feeling like you are all by yourself. And it's very, very important for people to be able to have at least one person in their life that they can trust, someone they feel that they can open up to. Because talking about your problems genuinely is one of the best cures. I feel like every single time I feel down, if I just hit up one of my friends or talk to one of my parents or even my little sister, I feel better afterwards because I feel like there's someone else fighting my struggles with me. I'm not all by myself. And that's something that I would like to tell all of you. It's important that you identify someone in your life that you can trust and that you can go to with your problems because in the long run, it'll really, really help you. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of Garv gives Gyaan. I will see you all in the next one.